Pedals and Effects Sub Wars with Jonathan Hischke and myself, and we are going to check out 4 subs, not octave pedals, subs. This is Density Hulk by Mantic. This is Godlyke's The Great Divide, and this is, granted, this is a synth. It has an octave up, it has an octave down, but we're going to focus on the sub. And then this is Ashdowns bass sub pedal, and I always like the Ashdown amp subharmonic knob that they had on their amps, so I thought this was that, and it's kind of is. I'm not really sure, but with this is the Meatbox, and this is the sub that we get asked about more than probably any pedal. And a little history: this guy's out of Denver. This is out of New York, Ashdowns, UK. And this was the mighty DOD company, and we were just talking about it because they're reissuing some of their pedals, and soon to come they're going to reissue this. But I first heard this pedal. Jonathan Hischke was playing in Hella. We were touring. Mars Volta was touring with them, and I thought that it was a subharmonic synthesizer rack effect by DBX, because DBX made them. They used to come in like these wood boxes, one knob. And then they started making the rack mount ones.
The boombox?
Yeah, the boombox. And so I thought that's what he was using. I thought that maybe a sound man was using it and triggering it. And then as we got to know each other, he said, no, it's not. It's this DOD Meatbox, and it's awesome. He would just crush arenas with this thing. It would just fill up all the air in the room and just shake it. So I went and got him, and we've driven the price up ever since. So these suckers used to be 40, 60 bucks. They're probably 200, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe 300 now, if you can find a real clean one. This one's pretty clean. And a lot of guys are cloning. A lot of guys are trying to make them. Mantic actually makes a clone of it. That's not this. The Density Hulk is his own sub pedal that he wanted to make. And this isn't a clone in any way. It just has a sub on it. And so we thought we'd throw it into Sub Wars. And this is, I mean, the amp one is a subharmonic synth, but I don't think that's what this is, but it says sub on it, so we threw it in there. So not a lot of companies make subs. Why? Because guitar players don't use subs. Bass players do, and we're not a big part of the market as much as guitar players are. So they tend to not make subs, but I think now a lot of guys are beginning to make them, because you can also throw them on drum machines to get more 808 sound out of stuff. You can use them on synths. So
kick drums.
Kick drums. I mean, it's just, you know, people really know that subs is the thing, just because, you know, electronic music, everything is so low end and sub driven. So we're gonna see what it makes the bass sound like. Here we go. This is just straight P bass, right? Yes, straight P bass. And Density Hulk. Here we go. So this is one thing that we will say, that we have all the knobs up, and that's kind of how we always run the Meatbox too, all knobs up. I remember one time I go, hey, how do you, I don't know, I was having some issue or something live, and I called Jonathan up from the road, and I said, hey, how do you, use your settings. What are your settings on your Meatbox? He goes, all the way up on everything. Oh, okay, that figures. I think that's what I was doing, but I thought I kept having some like distortion problems. I was probably had blown some speakers or something. But all the knobs up, that's what the Density Hulk sounds like. Now we're gonna go to the Godlyke. It's a different thing, man. It's not totally fair. We'll mess with these knobs later, but we're just gonna focus on the sub, so let's check this out. It's crazy. It's super super gnarly, rattly, shifting, you know, kind of thing. This is just doing some type of interval. I think overtones to the sub. So I think it's what, 1 and then
1.5, 2, and 2.6.
Yeah. So.
I think. Yeah.
So I think that's just in like some kind of interval 1, interval, you know, whole step, you know, 2.
It adds some weird distortion that makes it like square wave, or you know, adds waveform or something. I don't know.
Right. I mean, and again, we're not reading this off something. This is just how we're describing it, how we hear it. But that's Godlyke makes that, and then like I said, we'll mess with this later. Let's go check out. All the knobs are up on this guy. This is the Ashdown, and it's all knobs up. Let's hear it. I mean, it is a sub. I mean, I know it's an octave pedal type more than the other ones are, but I can hear that it has like a subness to it. It's just not what the amp has. That amp really is a subharmonic synth. I don't know why they made it. I thought they made this because, you know, guys were probably asking them, I just want that subharmonic that's on the amp, but I don't want the head. I just want the pedal. And that's why, I mean, I just want the subharmonic, and that's why I bought this. I still even have the tag on it that shows you how little I used it, because it just didn't do the same thing that the amp thing does. And maybe I should have read up on it, but I didn't. I went out and I bought it, and anyway. So, and here is the DOD Meatbox. I gotta say, so like we were test running this stuff, and it's still like, as soon as this one comes on, there's all this stuff vibrates. And so I'm hearing stuff up there vibrating, stuff over there vibrating in my studio. So it's I hope your computer speakers or your headphones can hear what we're trying to articulate through this system. I mean, I got my hi-ho mic down there. It's going through 810s. It's through my SVT. It's 300 watts tube amp, and I hope that it comes across. But what we're hearing, it just literally sucks all the air out of this room. It just blows your head up. So here we go. It just grabs it and it just rattles it. So that's, like I said, we have all the knobs up on this guy. So what I want to do is, like, I want to go through, I'm going to grab a fretless, and then we're going to go through these again, because the fretless definitely plays different with this, because it's you know, no frets, so the harmonic content coming out of the bass has a whole different information that these pedals react differently to. So let's do that. So here we go, fretless bass. That's the Great Divide. So we started bringing in some of the other elements of it. Again, that's not totally fair. I mean, like I said, this is a synth pedal too, so it's kind of like, if you can grab the micro synth over there, it's kind of like this, where the micro synth has, you know, the sub octave in here too, and it's got all this, you know, different, you know, octave. This is the octave up, and then, you know, you have just different switches to control the synth part. It's a synth, so there's a synth in there with these different switches, but there's also an octave up which none of these have, and then there's a dry signal here. We kept that out, and then octave down, and then the sub. So it's definitely a different pedal, and the price of it may reflect that. So here's the Ashdown. Here we go. All right, Meatbox. That's the Meatbox. And so what were you saying about this? So this is not a clone. I've said this before, but this is his own sub pedal that he made. And there are a lot of companies making them. I know WMD's coming out with one. There's Quaker's making one. DOD'S actually going to reissue this. So there's definitely subs coming in, and luckily, there's enough bass players demanding this. And like I said, you can use it on drums, bass drum, or whatever. You can use this on synths and make it more subbed out. I mean, if you really want to get low end, the sub is the way. And so we only have 4 to do sub wars. There won't be another version of this quite yet, but maybe in about 6 months' time, we'll do another sub wars because more people are making them. So cool, sub wars, Pedals and Effects.